Millions of creators jump into the YouTube ecosystem every single year, right? They're totally filled with hope, but a staggering number of them just never make it. Why is that? What exactly separates that tiny, tiny fraction of success stories from the vast majority who eventually just throw their hands up and quit? Well, today, we are decoding the data. We're going to look at exactly why channels fail. And more importantly, we're giving you a really powerful 9-point framework for sustainable growth. This is based on what the successful 1% are actually doing. So let's get right into the explainer.
We're tackling this using a 5-part framework. First, the harsh YouTube reality. Second, the creator expectation trap. Third, mastering your creator mindset. Fourth, working smart, not just hard. And fifth, perfecting your content strategy.
All right, let's dive straight into section 1, the harsh YouTube reality.
155 million. That is the literal number of channels currently existing on the platform today. Think about that for a second. When you create a channel and hit upload, you're stepping into this massive global arena with 155 million other creators. Understanding that sheer scale of competition right out of the gate is absolutely crucial. You have to know what you're up against.
So, out of that massive pool, how many are actually living the dream? Well, brace yourself. A whopping 90% of those channels never even reach 1,000 subscribers. The reality gets crazy tight from there. Just 6% are actually monetized and making any money at all. Getting that silver play button for 100,000 subs, that's a tiny 0.6%. And hitting that coveted 1 million subscriber mark, that is less than 0.05% of channels. Literally, out of 1,000 channels, only one will hit 1 million. It's a minuscule slice of the pie. But hey, do not let this data demotivate you. Those top 1% channels, they started at exactly 0 too. The algorithm treats their first video exactly like it treats yours. The difference is all about how they navigate the journey.
Which brings us to section 2, the creator expectation trap.
The naive beginner expectation is so incredibly simple, isn't it? You think you just upload a video once, instantly go viral, breeze through 4,000 hours of watch time, and boom, you're rolling in easy, consistent money. But the grueling reality? It's endless learning. It's staring at literally 0 initial views for weeks or even months. It's tackling these demanding, tedious editing steps that most beginners just want to skip over. And honestly, it's very low pay in the beginning. When creators violently crash into this reality after expecting an effortless ride, they get completely demoralized. This expectation mismatch is exactly where 99% of people simply quit. And for the folks who don't quit right away, desperation sets in. They often fall into this vicious cycle of terrible advice. Instead of making actual progress, desperate creators start hunting for easy fixes. Look, if you see promises of one-day monetization or that highly unethical advice to buy views or subscribers, or so-called experts telling you to obsess over minor algorithm settings and constant hashtag tweaks, run the other way. Consuming this fake shortcut content just tricks your brain. It gives you a false sense of progress, but you are literally getting nowhere. It's a massive distraction from the real root causes of why your channel isn't growing.
So let's fix that. Section 3, master your creator mindset.
You absolutely have to understand this profound distinction. Wanting to be a YouTuber is completely different from wanting to make videos. So many people just want the surface-level glamour, right? The fame, the money, the prestigious title. But those surface-level desires absolutely do not survive the unseen, completely unglamorous steps of content creation. If you don't actually enjoy the gritty, everyday process of researching, writing scripts, recording, and editing, the reality of the workload is going to crush you. You have to genuinely learn to love the craft of making the videos themselves.
Let me give you a perfect example. Creator Saklan Khan. Recently, he launched a new channel, and in just 9 videos, he hit over 400,000 subscribers. From the outside, it looks like this crazy overnight viral success, right? No way. Look at the full journey. Years ago, he created his first channel. Over a really long period of time, he uploaded more than 500 videos there. That unseen, long-term grind is where he built immense skills, research, script writing, camera presence, editing. By the time he launched his new channel, he was already a seasoned expert. You just cannot compare your starting point to someone else's years of unseen skill building.
So how do you build those skills without losing your mind? By focusing on just 1%. Rather than endlessly scrolling through growth tutorials and never actually doing anything with that knowledge, you need to adopt the habit of a 1% improvement. Before clicking on yet another tutorial, ask yourself, did I actually apply the last thing I learned? If you just improve one tiny aspect of your new video by a single percent, maybe it's your lighting, your pacing, or your audio, that consistent, compounding application is what generates massive, real-world progress.
All right, moving right along to Section 4. Work smart, not hard.
Building skills over time is absolutely critical, but we also have to direct our energy effectively. You've probably heard of the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle. It's the idea that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your actions. When we apply this specifically to video production, it changes absolutely everything about how you should be spending your time. Yes, editing, scripting, and research are super vital, but there is a very specific 20% of your effort that dictates whether anyone will ever actually see all that hard work.
In the content world, that critical 20% is your packaging. It consists of your video idea, the title, the thumbnail, and the first 30-second hook. Those four things are responsible for 80% of your success in actually getting views. Think about the logic here. If your thumbnail and title failed to get the click and your opening hook doesn't grab them immediately, the remaining 80% of your incredible editing literally doesn't matter because nobody is watching. You need to focus a massive amount of your creative energy right here on perfecting that packaging.
Now, working smart is not a free pass to skip doing the actual work. Consistency is the only way to build real skills and, frankly, please the algorithm. You still need consistent output because you desperately need data. You have to learn from the real-world experience of hitting publish. You need to see how your 80-20 packaging actually performed with a real audience and refine your abilities based on that immediate feedback. The algorithm undeniably favors consistency for sure, but more importantly, consistent creation is the only path to gathering the vital experience you need to grow.
And that takes us to our final part, Section 5, perfect your content strategy.
As the famous advice goes, steal like an artist. Now this sounds highly counterintuitive, but it is a massive key to early growth. Beginners so often make the mistake of trying to be 100% unique from day one. They try completely unheard of ideas, totally bizarre editing styles, or weird formats. The glaring problem with that? You have zero proof and zero data indicating that your highly unique idea will actually resonate with an audience.
Instead of just guessing, follow the copy to create framework. Step 1, rigidly analyze the successful creators in your specific niche. Step 2, take detailed notes on their common successful baseline elements. What is fundamentally working for them right now? This acts as your proven roadmap. Then, and only then, you move to Step 3, inject your unique selling point or your USP. You aren't bluntly copying anyone word for word, obviously. You're taking a proven foundation that you know an audience already wants, and you are layering your unique personality, a special teaching style, or a totally unique visual look on top of it. This roots your content in a proven market while making sure it remains distinctively yours.
And speaking of the market, there is an absolute non-negotiable here. If you can't define your niche, you are making videos for yourself, not an audience. If you treat your channel like a personal diary, posting a gaming run one day, a random vlog the next, and then a cooking tutorial on the weekend, that's a hobby. It's not a strategy for growth. Viewers, and equally importantly, the algorithm, need to know exactly what specific value to expect from you. If you confuse them, you will absolutely lose them.
So I want to leave you with this provocative question. Are you failing because of your skills, or is your current niche holding you back? Because you might be doing absolutely everything right. You've mastered your mindset, you're making those 1% improvements, and your packaging is totally flawless. But if your niche is way too competitive, or the total audience size is just incredibly small, your growth is going to stall no matter how amazing your content is. Sometimes, applying all these incredible skills to an entirely new niche brings a fresh perspective, and it becomes the final key to unlocking massive growth. I really challenge you to evaluate your current path, apply this 9-point framework, and step out of that 99% failure rate and into the successful 1%. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.